All right, today we're diving into something really wild. It's a look at a lost, fictional manuscript, supposedly written by a legendary gonzo journalist way back in 2004. It's called The Digital Savage. And trust me, it's less a story and more of a high-octane warning shot smuggled from the past right into our present. Right from the jump, you know this is serious. This line was supposedly scrawled on the very first page. It's not just a casual intro, it's the last will and testament of someone who got way too close to a very dangerous truth. The stakes are set, and they are high. And this is the central question that just grabs you. The manuscript wants us to completely reframe how we see the digital world. Stop thinking of it as a playground or a public square. Instead, it says, you need to see it for what it is, a sprawling, chaotic crime scene, and we're all living right in the middle of it. So, the story kicks off with our journalist having this dawning, gut-wrenching horror. He starts to believe that we're not just living online, we're trapped inside what he calls an information morgue. His thesis? We're already dead, killed by the relentless fire hose of data that's being blasted into our eyeballs 24/7.
The writing just paints this picture of pure sensory overload. You know the feeling. Endless scrolling, notifications that never stop, the chaotic screaming from a million different chat rooms all at once. It's a society that is literally drowning in information. So paralyzed that thinking clearly becomes, well, almost impossible.
And here's the kicker. The manuscript claims our big cultural ideals, our whole sense of purpose. They weren't destroyed. No, they were just replaced by this state of perpetual waiting. Just waiting for the next outrage, the next viral distraction, the next piece of content to finally load. Just as our journalist is sinking into this dark funk, something happens. A cryptic email lands in his inbox. It's an anonymous message, and it suggests that all this digital chaos he's been seeing, it's no accident. It's a deliberate, calculated act. These words, man, they change everything. The story pivots hard from just bleak observation to a full-blown investigation. He's not just a spectator at the funeral anymore, now he's a detective at the crime scene, because the core idea is revealed. We aren't dead, we're resources, we're being mined. So who sent the email? Turns out it's a high-level Silicon Valley insider he calls Sarah, and she provides the first absolute bombshell. Our addiction to these platforms, it was never a bug. It wasn't a side effect. It was and always has been the main feature. Okay, so now, armed with Sarah's intel, the journalist starts to peel back the layers on this psychological blueprint. He starts digging into exactly how these companies are weaponizing our own minds against us. And the manuscript gets super specific. The infinite scroll, that was lifted directly from slot machine design to keep you pulling that lever forever. Those little red notification badges, they're perfectly calibrated to create a compulsive need to check. But the most insidious one is what they call intermittent rewards. The algorithm sometimes withholds likes on purpose to create an unpredictable pattern, which just so happens to be the single most addictive one known to neurological science. You see the bait and switch, right? We were sold this incredible dream of global connection and personal empowerment. But what was actually delivered, according to the manuscript, was a finely tuned addiction machine built for one purpose and one purpose only, to harvest our attention for profit. Another source, an ex-employee he calls Marcus, just lays out the cold, hard business logic. The system isn't built for your happiness or fulfillment. It's built for engagement. And, according to him, nothing drives engagement quite like anxiety, outrage, and the deep-seated fear of missing out. So, the investigation takes a really dangerous turn. With Sarah's help, our journalist goes undercover at this secret, invitation-only conference called The Summit. This is where the masterminds of the whole industry get together to map out their strategy for the future. And while he's there, on stage, a major tech CEO makes a jaw-dropping admission. The real goal was never just engagement or influence. The endgame is total, inescapable control over our lives, and, more importantly, our attention. The summit apparently laid out this whole chilling step-by-step roadmap. It's a methodical plan. You start with the devices in our pockets, then you move to the infrastructure of our cities, and then, finally, you move to technology inside our actual bodies, all of it designed to make their systems utterly inescapable. Get this. The manuscript claims that executives at this conference were bragging about their behavioral prediction engines. And they claim these things could forecast and guide what people do with 93% accuracy. We're not just talking about watching what we do. This is about steering what we do next. So, what is the ultimate end game here? Well, according to this manuscript, it's a future where basically every part of human experience, from who you talk to what you think, is mediated, monitored, and, of course, monetized. And the final piece of this whole terrifying puzzle is the neural interface, a direct connection into the human nervous system. At that point, as one exec supposedly put it, they become the substrate of attention itself. They don't need to compete for our attention anymore. They will own the very machinery that produces it. Now, the manuscript is really clear that this isn't the work of just a few bad actors. No, this is a coordinated strategy between all the major players. The tech giants, the venture capitalists bankrolling them, the data firms analyzing us, the AI labs building the algorithms, and, crucially, government liaisons who make sure the path is always clear. And all of this leads us to the manuscript's most profound and, honestly, its most chilling conclusion. This whole system, it doesn't run on force. It doesn't need tyranny in the old-fashioned sense. It works by completely redefining what freedom even means. Here's the final gut punch. The big, devastating idea is this. The true horror isn't that we're being shoved into a digital prison. It's that we are willing participants. We are volunteering for the cage because the alternative, being disconnected, being left out, has been engineered to feel so much worse. The manuscript doesn't offer any solutions. It just leaves us with this provocative, really uncomfortable question, forcing all of us to look at our own choices in this world they've built. The cage is comfortable, it's convenient, it's got great Wi-Fi. So why would any of us ever choose to leave?